Good morning, second grade families. Happy Thursday. Hope you guys are all doing well. Today, what we're going to be doing is reading the story Mrs. Johnson's Plant Experiment. Now, before we read, I wanted to show you the changes that have happened in our garden. First of all, you will see the birds are definitely getting fed. I fill this every single day. Now we also have to worry about squirrels. I caught about 5 squirrels in here yesterday trying to get some food. So I laid some out for them outside of the garden, so hopefully our birds can still be fed. If you notice, our wildflower bed right here has already started to bud. You can kind of see some of them even trying to come through. By the time we're all back together, these should be in bloom. Our daffodils are looking a little rough. I've been out here watering them as much as I could. We still have one that needs a little bit more, but during the day, what happens is this flower opens right up. And here's our compost pile. It's looking really good. It's very smelly though, so I'm gonna go over there. So as you can see, our garden is looking really good. By the time we're all back together, I hope to see quite a few flowers out here. Now, let's go ahead and read Mrs. Johnson's Plant Experiment. So when you log on to readworks.org, you will see your assignment. And it's got a picture right here. Looks like a little plant. And it's titled Miss Johnson's Plant Experiment. So let's go ahead and begin reading together. Miss Johnson, a second grade teacher, reached deep into her canvas bag and pulled out 2 plants. She placed the plants on a table at the front of her room. She asked her class to gather around the table to look at the plants and describe what they saw. "They look the same," Helena said. "The leaves are green," Aaron added. "They're standing straight up," Lee noted. Miss Johnson asked them to touch the soil and tell her about it. "The soil is moist and it's dark brown," Mia observed. "The soil is getting stuck under my fingernails," Teresa said. Miss Johnson placed one plant in a sunny spot on the windowsill and the other on the floor in a dark corner of the classroom. She asked for 4 volunteers. Each volunteer was responsible for watering the plant on the windowsill once a week. Miss Johnson promised her class the plants would be part of an important lesson the following month. 4 weeks later, Miss Johnson brought the plants back to the table and invited the class to describe them again. "They don't look like each other anymore," Helena said excitedly. "One plant is green and some has some bright green leaves. The other plant has more yellow and brown leaves than green leaves," Nina explained. "One plant is standing straight up and the other one is bent over," Lenny added. Miss Johnson then asked the students to touch the soil and tell her about it. "It's moist and dark brown around the plant," Grace said. "It's very dry and light brown around this plant," Max described. Miss Johnson explained, "Plants are alive. They respond to where they live. What are the differences between where I put the plants and how we cared for them?" "You put one in a dark corner and the other one on the windowsill where there's a lot of light," Ellie replied. "We watered the plant on the windowsill, but we didn't water the plant in the corner of the room," Aaron said. "That's right. Which plant is growing and healthy?" Miss Johnson asked. Several students replied that the plant on the windowsill they watered was the one which was growing and healthy. "You're right," Miss Johnson exclaimed, proud of her students. Then she continued, "I wanted to see for yourself the plants depend on light and water to grow and to be healthy. Did you know that plants breathe? They have little openings on their leaves that look like tiny mouths. but they are too small to see without a microscope. When we breathe in oxygen. Plants breathe in carbon dioxide. Plants take in carbon dioxide from the air and use it to build their leaves, stems, and roots. Plants also take in water. This is why we need to water our plants, so they will grow. They use the roots to suck up water that the plant on the windowsill they had watered was the one which was growing and healthy. "You're right," Miss Johnson exclaimed, proud of her students. Then she continued, "I wanted you to see for yourself that plants depend on light and water to grow and to be healthy. Did you know that plants breathe? They have little openings on their leaves that look like tiny mouths, but they are too small to see without a microscope. When we breathe in oxygen. Plants breathe in carbon dioxide. Plants take in the carbon dioxide from the air and use it to build their leaves, stems, and roots. Plants also take in water. This is why we need to water plants, so they will grow. They use their roots to suck up water into their bodies and the little openings on their leaves to breathe in carbon dioxide. Once they have water and carbon dioxide, plants need light. Leaves are made up of a bunch of tiny cells. Inside the cells are very little things called chloroplasts. Chloroplasts are what makes leaves green, and they are also what turn the carbon dioxide, water, and light into sugar and oxygen. The sugar is food for the plants. The plants release the oxygen into the air, which humans and many animals breathe in. What do plants need to grow and be healthy? Miss Johnson asked her class. They need light and water, the class replied. Let's place both plants on the windowsill where they will get lots of light and grow. Who would like to volunteer to water the plants? All of Miss Johnson's students raised their hands. All right, so now what we're going to do is do a BME. Now, for our BME, we need to find the beginning, the middle, and the end of the story. So the beginning of our story is Miss Johnson brought out 2 plants. The middle is the class made observations on the 2 plants. And if you remember in the comments below, what was the difference between the 2 plants? How did they change? Did one get stronger, or do they look exactly the same? Now the ending is for you to put up. How did the story end? Feel free to put your answer in the comments below. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to log on to readworks.org to complete the assignment. You're going to notice that my packets over the next couple of weeks are going to get a little bit smaller. So I'm going to have more expectations about what you're going to be doing online. Thank you for everything you've done. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.